Do I clap?
So 1, 2, 3.
One, two,
One,
three.
two, three.
Oh no. What is up, guys? Welcome to our second episode of Punts with Pints, featuring the number one punter in the poker land. You know him already, probably, but if you don't, his name is Paul Punts. Welcome, Paul.
What is up, Simon? Really happy doing the second episode with you here. So welcome, guys. This time on Simon's channel. If you have not seen it, the first episode went live on mine, and it's also available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast fix. So yeah, happy to do the second episode, beginning of 2024.
Hell yeah. It sounds like we both got off to 2024 with a pretty bad start. I think both of us have been incredibly sick. I think do you have COVID?
I did have COVID, yeah. I came, I spent New Year's Eve with a bunch of friends in the house and then came back on January the 1st and January the 2nd. I was so positive, you wouldn't believe it.
Super positive.
Yeah, super positive, yeah. And the funny thing though is none of my friends got it. So it
Cool.
must have been from somewhere else. I have no idea.
You're patient zero, basically.
Yeah,
Love
definitely.
that. Well, guys, just want to say a very warm welcome to Paul. For those of you who don't know, Paul is also a cash game streamer, playing small and, would you say, mid stakes? Playing 25,
Nah,
playing 50?
it's like mini stakes, not micro stakes.
Low stakes. We'll call it low stakes. Yeah.
Let's call it low stakes.
But Paul's another streamer. I'm sure a lot of you guys who follow me also watch him. But if you don't, make sure to go check him out on Twitch and YouTube as well. Obviously, I will leave all of the links, wherever they fit. So before we get started, for those of the people who don't actually know, let's kind of give a bit of a background into what Punts with Pints actually is. Basically, Paul and I were chatting for ages, and we really wanted to get together and figure out a way to chat poker together that in a way that wasn't just kind of study based. And we wanted to have an opportunity for us to just chat about poker, chat about hands, and have a bit of fun, to be honest. And we felt like there wasn't anything too similar out there. So we just decided that, hey, what the hell, we'll start filming a video podcast. And 2 episodes later, here we are. And the premise is basically that we're going to get together, we're going to drink a beer every episode, we're going to share a beer, chat some poker, and yeah, have a little bit of fun. So there's a couple of key segments which we've got lined up for you guys today. Again, please do let us know in the comments what kind of stuff you guys are liking, because these are kind of a loose evolving structure, and we're going to just have a bit of fun and see what you like. And the first cab off the rank, obviously, it's not punts without pints, is it? Last time I brought a fancy glass, but today we're going to go straight OG out the bottle. But I will obviously hand the honors over to our guest, Paul, here, to kick us off with his chosen pint for the day.
Exciting. It's so funny that you say you're gonna go straight to the bottle because I felt bad for only bringing a bottle last time, so I picked up a glass this time. And
Clearly, we're on the same page.
yeah, but I do have I have to show this. I got this as a gift for my birthday last year. I have this super cool bottle opener. Does it show?
Whoa. Yeah.
It's
Is
like
that
a
an ace of
black ace.
spades?
It is. It is the ace of spades. So
Ooh.
the it's like 1 p.m. right now, and it's Tuesday, but I'm still gonna go for the beer, non-alcoholic, and not non-alcoholic. So dry January is not a thing I'm doing. Um, and I'm a big fan of stouts. So today I brought a stout. Let me align this.
Ooh.
And it has this, I don't even know what it is, but
Is
it's
that like a
like
rabbit?
it is a rabbit but with antlers and wings. and it's also wearing like the German traditional dirndl dress, from the Oktoberfest.
What's it called? The
So
Lederhosen or something.
yeah, that's for guys, yeah, and dirndl is for the
Oh.
ladies, yeah.
See, guys, if you watch this channel, you're gonna learn a lot of things about German culture.
Hopefully. All right, I'll pour it. I'll pour it.
While Paul's pouring that, I'll just say that Paul very kindly has taken the quote unquote midday shift for both of our catch ups because obviously I'm in Australia and Paul is all the way over in Germany, so we have to film this at very different times. So right now it's 11 p.m. at night, so I'm drinking a beer at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday, which I don't know if that's any better or worse. Maybe worse. And
Just a
Paul's like
regular
there,
Tuesday, I would say.
just a regular Tuesday. Paul's there.
So, I don't know if you're like a big fan of stouts, but this is a bit light for my taste. But I'll take a sip.
I'm a big fan of stouts actually. I think maybe next time I'll have a stout. I feel like they have some really nice flavors. You get some like notes of like coffee, you get some chocolate notes, you can get some really nice flavors.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, one other thing I should explain before you give us kind of your rundown of the beer is that we like to kind of play a bit of a fun game where we describe the taste of the beer with a poker starting hand. So I think last time I had did I have an ace 5 suited and you had was it a 7-5 or a 9-7 suited?
No, it was 9-5 suited. Like it was a weird one
9-5
where
suited.
it was like weird in the beginning, but then I explained that like if you do a really long session and every hand looks good at some point and you're stuck deep and you're looking at 9-5 suited on the button and are like in love with the idea of the hand.
I love that explanation. Okay, go on.
Yeah.
Give us a review. What are we working with?
So, like, I used to live in Northern Ireland, so I am, of course, I grew up on Guinness, if you know, but it's not as dark as a Guinness. Like, it's a lighter flavor, bit coffee, malty, but feels like more of a summer stout. It's like minus 10 degrees here, but this feels like a summer stout.
So
So
high session ability. You could drink a
definitely.
couple of them.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, you cannot really drink like more than 2 pints of Guinness, right?
No, not a chance. I actually love that though. I don't mind like a stout that's got a bit of session ability because sometimes you drink those stouts and they're just so heavy and you like get halfway down and you feel like you've just had a milkshake.
Yep, yep. But
So
it's good if
heavy.
you like skip on the meals and just drink a Guinness, then I think it's like
Then
an
it's all
Irish
right.
brunch or something. Let's call it an
Yeah, for
Irish
sure.
brunch.
Have you had lunch yet? Like maybe that could have been your lunch.
It is. I have not.
Great. So we're gonna have a bit of fun once
Yeah.
Paul gets through
Beer,
this.
beer, beer on an empty stomach at 1 p.m. on a Tuesday. Nice. We're
Love
living the
that.
good life.
Absolutely love it. And
So, yeah, comparing it to a hand, right? So that's the thing we do. So I'm not going to be as crazy as last time with the 9-5 suited. I think it's a solid one, but like not the best. So I would probably give it like the Jack 10 suited, but in early position. So kind of
ooh,
dicey.
yeah, okay. Is it almost like it looks like as soon as the cards turn over, you get a little bit excited. You're like, "Ooh, this looks nice," and then you think about it a
Exactly.
little bit more, and you're like, "Hold on a second, I'm in early position," and you've
Yeah.
just been
Yeah.
three bet, and you're like,
Yeah. It's not the real deal. Like if you say a Guinness would be the Ace King of Spades, then this one is probably the Jack 10 of Spades. Yeah.
okay." Oh, we're getting suit specific now as well.
Has to be the black suit.
Has to be the black suits. Love that. And you've got the Ace of Spades bottle opener, so you can't have the Ace of Spades because your bottle opener is blocking that actually.
Genius. I thought we were not going to talk about strategy so much, and now you're coming up with blockers already. Five
Yeah,
minutes
fuck.
in.
Sorry. But onto what I'm drinking today. We've actually got a Stone and Wood Pacific Ale. Now, this particular beer is brewed in Australia. It's brewed in a place called Byron Bay, which is up in the north of Australia. And this kind of place is like super relaxed, like chilled out, lots of, excuse me, lots of like surfing culture. And I've definitely had this beer before, but it's what I had in my fridge, so I bought it. And I think it's in general, it's a bit more of like a daytime session, high sessionability beer as well. So good to know that we're both on that. But I haven't had one in a little while, and as I said, like I've been sick, so I haven't really been drinking too much. So it'll be nice
It's also,
to see.
I think it's like also my first drink of the year.
I think no, I had some on New Year's Day. I think I had some beers on New Year's Day, but apart from that, this is also my first drink. And of course, if you're Aussie, you have it in a stubby holder. You know, keep your hands from getting too cold.
It's summer in Australia, isn't it?
It is summer. Yeah, it was like 30 degrees today. Ooh.
And well, first of all, cheers to that.
Cheers. How rude of me. But to have a sip before cheersing,
Well,
that's
it's so
part of the
funny to
sin.
think that you guys in Down Under are like in full bloom summer, and I'm going skiing next weekend.
I know, it's crazy. I was literally at the beach yesterday, swimming in the ocean. It was like perfect 30-degree day. So nice.
Uh,
It was amazing. So okay, onto my starting hand. I think like, geez, this is kind of a similar one. I think this is because it's such like a common beer. Like this isn't like from a brewery or anything like that. I'm thinking that this is going to be used in like a common spot. So this is like a bit the big blind of beers. Like, you know, this is the spot that you're playing all the bloody time. And it needs to be a hand with like pretty high playability as well. So you're never folding this hand. But I definitely wouldn't say like you're too stoked on three betting it either. So I think we're looking at something like, God, this is gonna sound rough, but like I'm thinking like Queen 8 suited, Queen 8 of diamonds. So it's like it seems like all right, especially when you get open from the button. You're kind of like, yeah,
yeah.
I guess I'll call this you, but you don't really want to three bet it, and you don't really want to fold it. It's just like your standard thing, but it's suited, so it kind of looks sexy, right?
Can't be bad if it's suited.
Can't be bad. So yeah, and then we should also mention to everyone one other thing, that the other thing that we do that is quite fun with this game is what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to turn these hands that we name the beer of that episode into a kind of all-in situation the following week if we can. So I think we'll potentially go over those hands later. I think we probably got a little bit off track because we haven't been playing that much, either of us, in the new year because we've been sick.
Yeah. And it's been Christmas and New Year's Eve, and like, let's be honest, everyone has a life besides poker.
Just a little bit of one. Just a little bit of one. Yeah, so I think we have to commit to trying to bring these hands to life in the next episode. So
It's going to be
moving on.
tougher for you because you specifically said in the big blind, so waiting for Queen 8 suited in the big blind.
I mean, you said early position though as well, so we're naming
Well, I
position.
have two positions then.
Okay. I think, yeah, I think we're gonna have to figure out probably an easier way of doing this. Although, to be fair, if we're putting in the volume, I feel like we should be hitting that hand. I mean, what's the chance of getting any holding in one particular hand? Do you even know that?
1 to 240, I think.
1 to 240. Yeah, in any. Cool. So if we play 240 hands in early position or big blind, technically we should get it, but it could take obviously way longer. And although you could argue that, no, I guess we're going to see the same amount of hands. Anyways, we're getting too mathematical. Who cares? We're not even 10 minutes into the episode and people are like blockers. They're talking about math. Like, turn off. Get away from this.
I'm like to give everyone a peace of mind. I'm so bad at math, and I still play poker. So
I'm like quite good at like basic math. Like if we're talking, multiplication, like addition, all that stuff, I'm actually really, really quick at that kind of stuff. But the second we start getting into like ratios and pot odds and like equity, my head sometimes starts just being like,
I'm gonna test you.
Like, God, I don't know, 608, like 800-ish.
Close enough.
No one check that. Please no one post that in the comments. Cool. So I think what we did on your channel when we did the first episode, we basically had like kind of like a mini interview with me just so that your viewers could get to know me a little bit better. And I think we just want to do the same for you, given that my viewers already know my ridiculous personality, but they haven't got necessarily a chance to hear a bit more about the Paul Punts story. And I know a little bit about your backstory, just from knowing you and from chatting to you. And I think it's really interesting. So I think all our viewers would love to know more about you. So the first question I have for you is, how did you start playing poker?
So there's a story before streaming, like the very first steps of my poker existence, and they happened in 2006. So I was 18 years old back then, and I went to the movies with my girlfriend, and we watched the new James Bond movie, Casino Royale. And I think a ton of people got into poker through Daniel Craig gambling against Mads Mikkelsen. A really good actor, by the way. I think that was the first movie I saw with him, but I really enjoy him up till this day. And yeah, the way they gambled for like millions of dollars in these most ridiculous poker hands. Like now that you know something about poker, you see how ridiculous the spots are in the movie. But back then, I didn't even know the rules of Texas Hold'em. And I was like, yeah, I want to play this game.
I mean, now that you've seen it, would you actually like to play with James Bond at the table? I feel like you would take all of his money.
Definitely. He basically, like, if you rewatch the scenes, he basically check calls the nuts in every single scene.
So what you're telling me is that James Bond is actually a whale.
He is. He really is.
Is he a nit?
No, he's a whale because he's rich and he's funded by the British government, so his bankroll is like unlimited.
Unlimited. That's so good. So
yeah.
Would you ever consider filming an intro for your channel that's you in a tuxedo, and I'm just imagining you turning around and be like, Punts, Paul Punts.
I love that. Yeah, let's do that. Why did I not think of this? I see you're the more creative one.
Just be like, license to fish, and it's like a little fishing rod in your hand or something.
I don't own a fishing rod, but I'll think about buying one just for this intro.
That actually brings up, I think I got another question just to follow up on that. So what do you think then, if that's what the kind of movies are like, what do you think the kind of expectation versus reality is of poker. Like, you know those memes where it's like how my friends see me, like how my
Yeah.
mom sees me, how like my class sees me, how I see me. What do you think that difference is between how everyone else in the world sees poker players and how we see each other?
Yeah, I think many people think that you are like taking part in illegal gambling rings and like are sitting in a basement with some criminals and then I don't know, betting like $1,000 at a time. I know when I spoke to my cousin a couple of months ago and told him about like this whole streaming thing and explained to him what I'm playing. And then I told him the limits I'm playing, and he was like, so your big blind is 50 euros and you sit at a table with 5,000 euros? Is that what you're telling me? I was like, no, man.
Oh my god, can you imagine? 50k
Yeah,
NL?
yeah. Why not?
Sure, yeah, I've got 50k
Yeah.
euros just sitting around to play at
But
any given
I
time.
must say, like back in 2006, after watching the movie, I looked online, of course, how to play poker. Like I didn't go straight to the casino. I thought I would play online. And then I was like super excited that there was already this whole ecosystem running. Like I did not know anything about that, and no one in my surroundings, in my friends group, knew anything about poker at all. So it was like this whole new thing I discovered, which felt really special, and I was really happy to start playing. I started on Party Poker back in the day, playing sit and goes, as most uh, new players in 2006, I assume, started playing. I think Phil Galfond started playing sit and goes on Party Poker.
Isn't it nuts though? Like you hear the stories of some of those guys like Tom Dwan, like Durr and that kind of stuff. And they're like, yeah, I started playing $6 sit and goes. And then like you see them on TV and they're playing for like $1 million pots. And you're like,
Yeah.
and then you we think of us and we're like, we've been playing for 18 years and now we're playing 50 NL Russian cash
Well,
against these fucking nits.
in my defense, I have to say, I played like I was still in high school at that time, and I played a lot. But once I graduated high school, I basically stopped playing and cashed out my entire bankroll because I had to buy beers in university. So I was playing up to NL 100 back in the day. So it was like 2008, 2009, and yeah, I had a bankroll of like $20,000 at that time, so it was pretty cool. But then I was like, okay, I have to go to university. I have to pay rent. I have to pay like expenses and mostly beer. So cashed out my
So
entire bankroll.
what you're telling me is that you could have started this podcast like 10, 15 years ago easily.
I could have. I could have, but like the proper way for me to live was to go to university and get a degree.
Boring. But yeah,
Super
I did the same
boring.
thing.
Yeah.
I did the exact same thing. Just
Yeah.
to fund that sweet, sweet bankroll so we can just whale it all off every week.
Yeah.
So tell me then, what do you actually love about the game then?
I have a childish answer to this question and then like a proper one. So let's start with the proper one. I used to play a lot of chess as a kid, and I was always like fond of strategy games. So be it computer games, played a lot of like round-based strategy games in my youth. And I think poker is like the perfect mix of excitement and strategy. So I don't think there's another game that features this level of playing mathematically, but also playing the opponent you're facing. So it's like war, and I love that. And the childish answer, I when I started out playing, I was really fond of like the whole casino feeling. So the poker chips, the poker mats, everything around that, like the whole gimmicky stuff with, all right, so we have casino chip quality with 14 grams, and then we have ceramic chips and all this stuff. I like really nerded out, and I splurged a lot in 2007, I think, on a casino set from the Dunes Casino in Vegas. So that was the casino that was on the spot where the Bellagio is nowadays. So before that, and I splurged a lot of money on like a set of casino chips from the Dunes that was sent to me from Vegas.
That's epic.
I still have it to this day, and I still use it in like home games with friends. So yeah,
So you've had it all this time and they're still in perfect condition.
yeah. Well, in the last home game I played like 2 months ago, I think, one of my friends accidentally cracked one of the chips, and I was like, all right, it's fine. But deep in my heart, I cried.
It was actually making a crack in your heart.
Yeah, because these chips are like super expensive. I think I paid nearly $2 per chip.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And like for anyone who like doesn't know, I'm sure everyone watching this has played poker, but like for a home poker set, you need like a lot of chips because you need multiple different variations. You need pretty big stacks. Like it's not abnormal to have like a 250 a 500 chip poker set
Yeah.
like regularly. So that means
Yeah.
you're dropping like $500 on one of those, not including the case and everything else that I'm sure comes with it. So
Yeah.
we're not looking at over $1,000, are we?
Yeah, my set is 500 chips, and I got the
Jesus,
casing.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I
You
was
could
a Nina 100 crusher, you know?
have you could afford beer for a year at university back then for
Yeah,
that chipset. That's insane. So
that
then
is insane.
you're playing. You started off playing, and then when did you make the decision to start streaming, and why did you do that?
That basically happened end of 22, I think. So 2022, I started streaming on Twitch and then also uploading stuff to my YouTube channel because I was basically copying the stuff I like to watch myself. And I have like a background in digital marketing, so it made sense. I knew a lot of like about the editing process, about ad revenue, online marketing, etc. So I really thought to myself, like, if I could do without like whatever I want without thinking about money, what would I do? And that was basically it.
That's
And
so
then I
cool.
just started and was like, I talked to my wife about it, and she was super supportive and said, okay, well, try it out. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, well, at least you tried. So that was the
So
decision back in 2022 to say, all right, fuck it, let's do it.
and was that like a moment where you were like, you know, okay, I'm gonna give this like a red hot crack, or was it like were you thinking I'm just gonna try this for a while, or was it just I'll just do one stream and see what happens?
No, no. I'm like because I know about the business a bit. I was certain that like the first couple of months would be harsh, and like not disheartening, but definitely frustrating at some point.
Tell me
Because you
about
cannot like, yeah,
that.
you cannot grow an audience from day one. Like you have to keep at it for a couple of months. So my timeline was to give myself a year to see how it goes, and then reevaluate after 1 year. And that was in, I think it was like in September last year, where I had to sit down and was like, okay, is this something I really want to keep doing? Is it worth my time? Um, and yeah, here we are.
And I mean, anyone who has seen Paul's channel, I think it's a massive testament to you. You insanely good at just posting content all the time. Like every time, I swear, every time like, I feel like I wake up sometimes and after having watched one of your videos, and I wake up and there's another video already there. I'm just like, video, 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 like content. It's just insane.
Yeah,
So I think you've done like just an amazing job. So I'm sure that's why people, in like following you, because you constantly release new stuff. And is that
yeah.
did you like achieve what you thought you would in a year, or did you surpass it, or how did you end up after a
So
year?
yeah, so it's like a mixed bag because I am like personally not the most patient person, so I want things to work out quickly. And after 1 year, like I did have some collaborations which I was looking forward to. I did have like some steady growth on the channel. So on the one hand, I was pretty satisfied because I gathered like 1 million views per month, and I was really proud of that. And
Per
like
month,
in our
did you say?
yeah, yeah, and in our poker niche, like especially when you play online, if you look at other channels, like most people are not generating that many views. So I was
No,
really
not at
proud of
all.
that. Yeah, but of course I also post like a maniac.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
So like if people only post once per week, of course they're not gonna generate a ton of views, but I post like twice a day on YouTube alone. So and then on some days it's 3 times per day. So yeah, so I just generate a lot of content because I know it will work out in the long run.
Amazing.
And but of course, on the other hand, like I'm nowhere near where I want to be eventually. So
Okay.
at some
So,
point, like I think I just want to enjoy the process, and like I really enjoy doing what I'm doing. So I'm not looking at the numbers every single day. Like I think that's a bad way to go at it.
yeah,
But
completely. I mean, it's so hard to avoid that stuff. Like, I know I'm definitely guilty of going in every now and then and look at the analytics. And the
yeah,
other thing is that for those of you who don't know, like when you post a video, every time you post a new video on YouTube, it gives you like a ranking
yeah,
on that video out of like 1 to 10 as to like how it's performing compared to your like the previous video or your other videos at that time. And so like when you post a new video and then like 2 days later you see it's like ranking 8 out of 10 or like 10 out of 10, you're like, oh my god, this is a shit video,
yeah,
like what's going on? And then like then 2 days later it like picks back up and it like skyrockets or whatever, and you're like, oh, I was just worrying for
yeah,
no reason. So I think that's an important thing, is just to like follow the process, I guess, and go from there. But you touched on the fact that you've kind of got some bigger bigger vision and some bigger goals. Do you want to like talk to us a bit about what those are?
So well, this year
Are these
in
top secret? Are these classified?
not really, not really. I like if I can make it, I have two different goals. I really want to go to the WSOP this year, to
This
go to
year?
Vegas. Yeah.
Damn, dude, you're gonna need to start grinding if you want to get that that entrance fee. It's a
No,
ten thousand
the
dollar
people
entrance.
the people watching or listening to this need to keep liking my videos. That's the way to do it. I'm
You heard
I'm
it here
not gonna
first.
grind out my 10K buy-in for the main event by playing NL50. It's not gonna work this way.
No, you're gonna get that sweet, sweet ad revenue.
Yeah, we need someone to sponsor the both of us to fly to Vegas and then punt around a bit and make some cool stuff happen. Like we have streamers who are playing NL10 and are attending the WSOP main event. Like why can't it be us?
I have seen there are some other streamers who, yeah, get sponsored by their poker site that they play on and stuff like that and go play, which
Yeah,
is so cool, man. Like that would just
yeah,
be a dream come true. So sorry, that's your that would be a goal, would be
yeah,
to go to the WSOP, and then
yeah.
what else?
And then if I can make it, I would like to move up to NL200 by the end of the year.
Whoa.
So that's the other big one, online poker related. I don't know if it'll work because I was struggling quite a bit in the last couple of months on NL50,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah, I know you said you were like weren't running that great. I'm interested, like, and this is maybe, I know we're in the middle of chatting about your kind of interview, but I just want to know, like, for the people out there who are, potentially looking at moving up stakes, who are maybe stuck at a stake, like what kind of things do people need to be thinking about when they're moving up? Like, is it just about skill? Is it just about bankroll? Like, what do you think the key is?
So if you are good at tilt control, bankroll is not a big issue, I think. I always tell like people if they want to move up, they should take shots as early as possible because the limit itself, it does change, but not that much. I think the bigger issue is like a psychological one that people feel like once they move up and the stakes double, they feel like they have to step up their game or play differently. And that's usually like the first step of losing a lot of money while moving up because you don't have to change the fundamentals. Like they're still valid. It doesn't matter if you're playing NL10 or NL100. Like the pre-flop play will stay the same. It's basically just solid poker. Like people are not doing anything crazy at NL100.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but then what happens a lot for people who are moving up in stakes is they lose a couple of buy-ins, and because the stakes are doubled, they start tilting and try to win the money back as quickly as possible. And then like this whole roller coaster starts and they burn their whole bankroll in like 3 sessions.
I feel
So
like you're telling my life story right now. I mean,
yours and yeah.
if you haven't punted off your bankroll at least like 5 times on a tilt session, then you haven't lived. But no, I think that's really good advice. And I think the other thing as well is that because what happens is like you get used to the stake that you're playing, and once you've been playing at it for a while, the chips don't really feel like money, and it's fine. You're confident, whatever. Especially when you're rolled for it. But for some reason, I think often when you move up for that first time, all of a sudden you think about the money because you go, oh, I'm not playing at this. I'm now playing at double this. And then so when the first time someone shoves all in on you, you're like, well, this is double. This is a double. This is like a 200 big blind pot now. So it feels quite daunting. And then what happens is your mind shifts from thinking about the poker hand to thinking about the money, which is a very, poor way of thinking. And I think that's good advice if you can like focus on doing those same like key fundamentals. I mean, the stakes are really not that different.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I have the same problem when I sometimes go play live at the casino here in Hamburg, and the lowest stakes they offer is NL 200, but it's usually it's a straddled game, so it usually plays like 2-5. And the biggest pot I played there was nearly €1,000. And although I got the money and with the nuts and a redraw to the nuts, I was still shaking like crazy when like all the money was in front of me. So like I have
Just
sympathy for everyone struggling with the money aspect because it's just a thing like it's one of the biggest like difficulties in poker, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to people like Raf Darko who I don't know if you saw his stream the other day, but like it's so funny because I was watching him stream like 10NL. He's doing like a bankroll challenge, and then the next day one of his viewers, like a rich viewer, rolled him to play 1K NL. And so he's all of a sudden playing 1K NL, and he honestly, I swear to God, he does not play any different. He will still go for like crazy like 2x like 200 big blind all in shoves with like nothing. Like he just like plays the hand exactly like he would play, like super aggressive, and like this is despite playing a limit that's 100 times higher than what he was playing before. So anyways, it's a skill that is, I think, definitely built over time, but also I think some people naturally just have this fearless nature to them.
Yeah. The degen factor.
the degen factor. Yeah, I mean, I sugarcoated it a little bit, but let's be honest, it's a degen factor. And tell me, so do you think could you ever play poker full time?
Without the content creation side of it, I don't think I would, because I'm not a big fan of like sitting at the table for 10 hours and grinding it out. So I talked to David K. Poker, another streamer and poker pro, and we have like ongoing chat thing going. And I was talking to him about the exact same thing because his streaming schedule is quite intense. He streams like 6 days a week for 7 hours or something. It's really crazy. And I talked to him like, what do you enjoy about poker more, the content creation side of it or the playing side of it?
Yeah.
And he said he enjoys playing more than like editing videos and doing all the social media stuff. And that's where it hit me that I actually enjoyed the whole content creation part of things way
Yeah.
more than the
Wow.
playing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so interesting. And what about the streaming side of things? Because that's another whole element then, isn't it? Because there's playing, there's streaming, and then there's the content side.
Yeah. So if I wouldn't be streaming, my win rate would definitely be higher because I could just concentrate completely on playing poker. But that has never been my goal. So I always wanted to do the streaming thing with poker. So poker, I just as you mentioned it in our last episode, like there poker is hits the sweet spot because it's like a thing I love to do, and it gives me an opportunity to create content on the go to follow
Mm.
the creator side of things.
Yes. Yeah, massively. Yeah, you nailed that. Okay, so then and you kind of touched on this a little bit already in terms of like what your goals are, but what's your kind of what's the plan for Paul Punts this year in terms of streaming and content specifically?
Um, I know it will sound crazy, but put out more.
Double down.
Yeah, so really double down on the creation side of things. Do more like fun formats like we're doing here. Really dabble into like more collaboration type of things. Do more like themed streams. Do more, maybe also like play some new formats. So definitely like have a bit more fun than just grinding cash games all of the time on stream.
Mm, mm. Yeah, I mean that's I feel like once you've gone to a point that you feel like you are happy with kind of where that is at, then I think it's a lot of fun. I think this is the crazy thing about poker is like we're using the term poker very loosely because obviously there's lots of different types of poker. We're
Mhm.
talking about like hold'em, cash games, and like often specifically like fast fold or like Russian cash or Zoom or whatever you want to call it. But like that's one like microcosm of the poker that's available. There's PLO, there's like five card stud, there's like all kinds of things that I don't even
Yeah,
know. And like a lot of those games, I think especially PLO is the one that I have always like been interested in, but I'm like and actually I'm interested, I have some interest in playing tournaments, but right now I'm like I can't possibly put the time and focus
yeah.
into more than one format because if I do anything else than playing cash games right now, I think my head will explode. There's just a never ending amount of knowledge and things to learn. But yeah, I fully hear you on doing some like different things. I think theme streams is super fun as like a concept. For me, like I love the streaming side. Like the streaming is the thing I
Yeah.
enjoy the most. Like connecting with an audience, like chatting to people, like because I feel like for me, I feel like I'm just chatting to a mate, but there are lots of mates, while
Yeah.
you're kind of doing something that you love. So I think the streaming side of it is so fun, and I think that there is a probable lack of kind of entertaining and like unique content in the poker space because it is mostly just like, hey, I'm playing for like 7 hours today, come watch me
Yeah.
grind for until oblivion.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's
So
there's like a thing where I have the feeling you can learn from those, right? So, for example, I had talked about David Kay. I think he's a brilliant player, and I definitely like every time I watch him, I learn something new. But I do not watch him for entertainment purposes, so it's something different. And then, of course, if I
completely.
tune into your stream and you punt off stacks one by one, it's way more entertaining than watching someone grind it out. So,
Well, that's accidental entertainment then, because I'm not even trying to entertain, but that's just me being bad at poker and just punting stacks off. But I'm glad that someone else is getting entertained by it. That's all I can hope for.
it's also about the way you react to it, right? So if you get mad because you get cooler than the spot, or like the comments you make, they're so much more entertaining than like I tend to be quite cold when I get cooler because I've seen it too many times. But I really appreciate when people like really show their emotions when they lose.
Well, you know what? It's so funny because, like, it's actually pretty sicko. But I don't know if I might have mentioned this in the first episode. But sometimes when I'm like streaming, and I'll be in like a really big hand, and like I'll get like facing like a massive raise or a jam or something, and I'm just there thinking, I'm just like, oh man, like I can't believe I'm about to get bad beat again. And then the sicko side of me is like, I kind of hope I get bad beat again so I make some good content.
Yeah,
It's like, and I mean, that's the one good thing about like creating content as well. It's like, hey, at least if I'm gonna get like really sick bad beats, it's gonna make like a great video.
totally, totally. Couldn't agree more.
It's like the safe version of Jackass, doing dumb shit just because it's funny for the camera.
Definitely.
Cool. Well, that is a massive, massive insight, I think, into everything that you're doing, and I think it's really exciting everything that you've got going on in terms of streaming. And God, I hope you do get to the World Series, and if you do, if you make
I'm
a
taking
vlog.
you with me.
Yes, I'm coming with. I'm hopefully coming with, and would love to would do a vlog. That would be so fun. But yeah. So hopefully there's going to be some exciting coming this year in terms of content as well as poker. So I think it's the good thing about the poker community is that for the most part, apart from a few trolls, everyone is super supportive and willing to like discuss poker. And also, for anyone watching this video, please do join the Discords and come in and post hands or chat poker or don't chat poker, chat life, chat whatever. It's just good to hang out. So yeah, more than welcome for everyone to join. But we've taken a lot of time, as we did in the first episode with kind of the interview portion, which is fine because I think we wanted to really use these first couple of episodes just to introduce ourselves so that you guys get a bit more of an insight into who we are and kind of what our goals and hopes and dreams are. But we in the future episodes are going to have a bit more of like a format that's based around playing some hands and potentially won't be as long as these first initial episodes, but I won't hold us to that because I think once we get talking with a beer, we don't really stop. So
People have to bear with us for the first couple of sessions, and then
that's it. Then we'll get better, or maybe we won't. So one of the segments that we came up with in the first one was a heat check, and that is to find out how cold or hot we are running. So, should we get to it?
yeah, sure. It's gonna be a short one for me. So if I might start out, I have only played one session in 2024 so far. So it's January the 9th right now. So only played one session due to me having COVID and not being able to really focus. And it went okay-ish. Like I did not dump 20 stacks or something, but I ended up losing like 4 or 5 stacks.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Was it, what do you think happened? Did you actually play bad or run bad or?
Uh, I think it could have gone the other way too. Like it was just standard like cooler stuff. I had like pocket jacks in the small blind versus ace king in the big blind, and we got the money in pre-flop. He was a reg. So we ran it twice. I lost both runouts, stuff like
Of
that. Then I
course.
ran again small blind versus big blind, ran queens into aces, lost the stack. And then in the four bet pot, turned two pair against the flop flush, lost the stack. Uh, yeah,
So it's
not
like
nothing
nothing, I mean, nothing to be that worried about by the sounds of it.
exactly. Like I went through the hands as I usually do after the session, and I was like, yeah, I would have played it the same way in my seat and in their seat. So I always say like when you would have done nothing differently than what your opponent did, and your play is fine, then this will just flip around at some point, and the stacks you lose don't really matter.
Yeah, completely, completely. And I think that's another thing that is hard to put your head around as a beginning player, of this idea of like, and I mean obviously I'm sure you hear me complain about being running below EV all the time, but I think one of the things that we don't think about is this long-term mindset of like, not just thinking about the last 10,000 hands, which to some people sounds like a lot, but for people who play poker regularly, 10,000 hands is like nothing. Like we need to be talking
Yeah.
like a million hands before you'll start to find out whether or not you're a winning player or not.
I hope we don't have to play a million hands at micros though.
Holy shit, please no. I played a lot last year, and yeah, that's that. This year I'm planning on moving up because it's too soul destroying.
Do you know how many hands you played in 2023?
I think I played more in 2022 than 2023. I think 2022 I played about 500,000, and
Jesus.
2023 2023 I played like 200k, maybe 250k.
All right,
So,
all right.
what
200K.
did you
Yeah,
play?
I think I played 200,000 hands in 2023. And like that's not much if you really think about it.
Nah,
So,
that's 200k hands is like playing like solid sessions, maybe like 3 days a week.
yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
it's it's definitely doable. Like it's,
Yeah.
especially if you're playing like four tables of Russian cash, you can get through hands so quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, playing four tables, you clock in at what 1,000 hands per hour, I think.
Yeah, about
So
that.
it's not really that much if you think about it.
Yeah, no, it goes super quick. So my heat check for the first week, in the last week I played 11,500 hands, and this graph tells a bit of a roller coaster story. So I basically started off the week just absolutely smashing it and playing so well, and I was like so happy with myself, and it was so crazy because it was literally like I can't remember what happened, but I took like an hour break or something because I had to go and make some dinner or something. I've been playing so well, and then I came back on and I just had the most soul destroying like hour of my life. Like it was a Russian cash Friday, so they do like the double cash drops, and I think it all started with with a failed bluff. And I think that's definitely something that I've learnt can tilt me, because when you bluff all in, when you bluff, and it was a big stack as well. It was like 150 big blinds. Went for an all in bluff and just got absolutely called down by the nuts. Bluffed straight into the nuts. You just feel like such an idiot, and you just like are like, I could have easily avoided that. And then you think about, like, was that even a good bluff? You question yourself, and then you kind of spiral. And then that on top of this, like on a Russian Cash Friday, I would nenever recommend being tilted on a Russian Cash Friday, because basically what it is for everyone who doesn't know is there's like these like bomb pots where essentially GG throw in like an extra half a stack or like a quarter of a stack just to create action, and people just go ballistic. Like people are just going all in with like any 2 cards. Like it's crazy. And so after that, I got into like 3 bomb pots and just lost like one after the other. And I was just like, they're just like, surely I just win one of these. And I just didn't. I just did not. And that just tilted me. And honestly, like you can see in the graph here, like in the space of oh my God, in less than 1,000 hands, I lost 10 buy-ins.
Yeah, it does look like it does look like the sinking of the Titanic, just with no survivors. Like not even Kate Winslet, all dead.
No, Kate is long dead. So yeah, so basically, so then I had this absolute meltdown, and I was just so frustrated because, and then this is what happens. You start getting these doom and gloom thoughts. You're like, how have I started the year with like a tilt session already? Like, this is horrible. And then I just went like psycho refocus mode. Like I went and like I did 3 study sessions in a row. And I like kind of just grinded for a little bit. Nothing happened. And then I just like went I had a couple of like full focus sessions where I was like headphones on, just like basically I think I had my headphones in and no music playing. That's how like in the zone I was. It was weird.
Was this streamed?
No, it wasn't streamed. And that was the other thing as well, exactly like you talked about. So these couple of sessions I was just like absolutely in the zone, and yeah, ran also like ended up running like pretty good. The exact opposite of what you just said, where I had like the ace king and won 2 runouts in a row.
Yeah.
Just binked a couple of things like that, which worked out really well. Grinded it up like massively. Like I'm talking, I won up to maximum. You can see there, I won up to 16 buy-ins in like 3K hands, and then
that's insane.
ran insanely bad after that in like 1 session again, and like 4 buy-ins below EV in like 1 second. And then you would have just seen the session that I just had on stream, like right before this, where we won like 3 buy-ins, and I think played pretty solidly. So
it's swingy, but I think it looks solid. So
yeah,
better
I'm
up
happy.
than down.
Better up than down. Now I'm happy, and now I just need to keep it going. So that is our heat check for the week. All right, guys. So to end this episode, because we are running massively over time, could not stop talking. But it's been fun.
It's the beer. It's the beer.
I know. Next thing, we're gonna have a marathon podcast. If this podcast goes any longer, we'll be in trouble. But no, what we wanted to do was take you guys through some of the hands which we're challenged to get all in with in the last episode. So again, as the guest, do you want to do the honors, Paul?
Yeah, so as a refresher, in last episode, I rated my beer as a 9-5 suited. And the idea was now to have me play 9-5 suited in a big pot on stream and film it. And this is what came out of it. Enjoy.
9-5 suited. We finally have the hand for the podcast challenge. So let's go. From above, welcome. So the challenge was to play a hand we named on the podcast, and I picked 9-5 to describe the beer I had on the podcast. So now I have to go crazy with this one. So let's go for the 3 bets. Pick it up! Easy game. So I have already fulfilled the challenge. That was too easy. Imagine the board like 9 with the flush draw. That was pretty sweet. Suited. All right. I have already fulfilled the challenge from the Punts and Pints podcast yesterday, but let's try and do it again. And you know we have to, right? Go for the 4-bet here. So the first hand we finished by just 3-betting pre-flop. So let's see if this one is more interesting. Might just get jammed on. No, we pick it up. Let's go. So I double passed the challenge. We want to do it again with the 9-5. So if you guys have not heard, we have a challenge going from the first episode of the Punts and Pints podcast with Simon Stacks, where we have until the next episode to fulfill the challenge, and my challenge is to win pots with 9-5 suited. And I already won 2, but I'm gonna do it again. Let's go for the hat trick. That's not a good board for us, but oh my, he's also such a station. 45-5, just got a barrel. The king is a really good barreling card though. Oh, let's put on the gas. Oh, this might cost me so much money. Fold. Don't bluff stations, guys. It's not worth it. Yes! Show him. Show him the 9-5. Punish him.
Yeah, as you can see, I did not manage to play an all-in pot, but I barreled off with 9-5 and took it down, so really proud of that. And because I did not go all in, I played 3 pots and won all 3 of them, so pretty proud of myself.
Pat on the back, pat on the back. Maybe you just need to incorporate more 9-5 suited into your game plan. Maybe need to update those pre-flop charts that you got.
Maybe not. All right, so we're gonna do Queen 8 suited for you and Jack 10 of spades. I said, Jesus Christ, what did I get myself into? In early position. Okay.
I think we'll forgive you if it's not early position. We'll allow you to do some Jack 10 suited madness.
I'll try my best. You
try your best. And same thing for me. I don't know where else I'll be playing Queen 8 suited from, to be honest. Yeah. Well, that brings us to the end of another episode of Punts and Pints. Firstly, golf clap, round of applause for Paul Punt. Thank you so much for joining us on my channel this time. It was a pleasure hosting you and hearing a bit about your poker story and your goals. And yeah, I'm very excited to see all the content that you're going to be putting out, these theme streams, which you have promised us, I'll say. Very looking forward to those. And guys, please make sure, if you have enjoyed this, if you're still here now, thank you so much. I'm sure many of you have gotten bored of us jabbering by now, but if you're still here, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please do make sure to give this video a thumbs up, share it, and also make sure you guys are subscribed to both mine and Paul's channels so that you guys can be notified when the new episodes come out. There's going to be some more episodes of this. I think it's a really fun format that we're enjoying. We're going to keep it going for a little bit. So again, yeah, anything else to add, Paul, before we finish off?
Just want to wish all the listeners and viewers good luck at the tables, and don't punt as much, and enjoy a beer or two. And tell your friends about this podcast. It's brand new.
It's brand spanking new. Also, Happy New Year and Merry Christmas and all that stuff, because it's been
Jesus Christ. Yeah. I still have my Santa hat here from the Christmas session.
That's for the next themed one. That's coming soon. No, but thank you guys all so much. We'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.
Bye.